Hello, Lamer Gamers. This is Lamer Travis and
Rowdy 5000
for the Lamer Gamers podcast. In today's episode, we're going to go down a river of a stream of consciousness that makes no sense possibly, and we might have an existential crisis regarding the most annoying things in video games.
Yeah, you know, it happens sometimes. But, you know, we didn't have time to prep anything. So we're just going to surf the top posts from Nintendo, Sony, and Xbox Reddits to see Xbox Reddits to see if there is anything worth talking about.
All right. Then we're going to end the show with a special bonus points where we asked a bunch of lamers on Twitter and Discord, what is the most annoying thing in a video game?
So, why don't you join us as we try and record this episode as we hop on a raft and start floating through the whitewater rapids that is Lamer Gamer's stream of consciousness. All of this and more on the Lamer Gamers podcast.
Rowdy, cue the music! Alright guys, our sponsor this week is the Portage Park Development Project, a thriving community in the Upland Metaverse. If you're from Chicago, Portage Park might sound familiar. That's because the Upland Metaverse is based on real-world cities and properties, and Portage Park is an actual neighborhood in Chicago. The Metaverse version of Portage Park is the most developed neighborhood in Upland with over 700 supportive members and property owners, enjoying competitions, community initiatives, and local shops with monthly town hall meetings to connect with fellow Uplanders. And now racing is coming to Upland. Portage Park are developing a racing team ready to fight for the top step of the podium. We have a training academy for drivers and racetracks in development, making the most of our shops and local attractions. We want to show you the best Portage Park has to offer. So come join us. Links to the Portage Park Discord server, racing track maps, and socials are in our podcast show notes. We hope to see you in the Metaverse.
Dun, dun, dun.
All right. Dun, dun, dun. Yeah, music. All right. So we are going to start with the news roundup, and it's going to be a thing.
A doozy?
First up, I did put some notes though, because one is involving beef. This is the beef segment. There is some sort of beef between Jim Ryan and Phil Spencer, who I happen to know as the PlayStation guy and the Xbox guy. Rowdy, tell us more.
All right, man. So, old Jimmy R and Philly Spence, man, they're
oh yeah,
they're starting a little a beef that over Call of Duty, basically. With the
is this beef organic, Rowdy?
Oh, it's rancid is what it is.
Okay, just checking. This is the manager's special beef of the video game industry.
This is the skillet mix.
You're going to put this in chili and just put all the red pepper in it to make sure you don't taste it.
So, you know, with the recent or upcoming Activision merger with Xbox, or the Blizzard Activision merger, Xbox gets Call of Duty, which is obviously a big deal because Call of Duty, you know, there are people out there who buy the new Call of Duty every year. Not to mention Call of Duty Warzone, which is like their free-to-play battle royale, is booming. So Xbox has stated that they will follow the recent or the previous agreement that Activision had with PlayStation, which is that the next 3 Call of Duty games will be multi-platform. So you could play it on, you know, PC, Xbox, and PlayStation. So Phil Spencer came out in an article and was talking about how, hey, you know what? we're going to honor it. We're going to put it all on PlayStation as well. And then even after the said agreement, we're still going to put it on PlayStation. And then kind of left it at that. Well, then Jim Ryan from PlayStation, I mean, I don't like this dude, but he just comes out.
But you're supposed to be our podcast Sony person,
dude,
Rowdy.
and I love Sony. But like, since they got rid of Shuhei Yoshida and Sean Layden, I finally remembered it.
Hey.
So well, they didn't get rid of Shuhei Yoshida. He just kind of got like demoted, and then freaking Sean Layden just got let go. I haven't.
He got laid off.
Oh, dude, I hate seeing.
That's bad. It's a bad joke. It's terrible.
I hate seeing Jim Ryan talk. He's like the epitome of like, I don't know, a 3-pound bottle of mayonnaise. That's him.
I mean, like, what? Once again, we have to go into the details of this, Rowdy. Whenever you're talking about 3-pound bottle of mayonnaise, now we're definitely not talking about anything like that has any sort of flavor to it. Like, this is worse than Hellman's. Is this market side?
Yeah.
Or this is great value mayonnaise?
Ooh, Walmart brand.
Yeah. Ooh.
Yeah, that's Jim Ryan.
Yeah.
Like every time I see him. Like if
So I grew up on Miracle Whip. Who is Miracle Whip in this industry?
Miracle Whip is probably that I was gonna say it's that Atari platform that came out that I totally forgot.
Yeah, that would be it. I would agree. I think that is Miracle Whip.
But yeah, so Jim Ryan got his panties in a knot.
It's tangy.
And decided that he was going to say something about it, and he was like, well, I wasn't going to talk about this, but Phil Spencer talked about it, so I feel like I have to now. Basically, after that, he stated that the agreement with Xbox is that, yes, they will go with the contract that Activision had, where the next 3 games are going to be on PlayStation, but then stated that Xbox's new deal will only extend 3 years after that contract is up. So old Jim Ryan, he said that's totes unfair. He's not a fan of it. Totes unfair. It's gonna hurt PlayStation's bottom line, and it's gonna hurt the PlayStation players. You know, if they can't play Call of Duty games on a PlayStation. So like, now comes to my opinion. I'm not a Call of Duty fan. You know, I mean,
yep.
I can't get down with it. And I love shooter games. It's just that, I don't know, I just can't get down with Call of Duty. It feels like they became the most popular one, and then now they just put out the same game every year, just in a different time frame with different weapons.
I mean, what is the alternative, though? The alternative would be they are like Grand Theft Auto 5, right?
It's true.
And you just re-release the game over and over, and make everybody sad and disappointed whenever they think about a sequel.
But in my opinion piece, I think Grand Theft Auto is better than Call of Duty.
I'm not. I'm the person that nobody agrees with on this. I'm not a Grand Theft Auto fan, but that's because
But also,
speaking of, you got to tell me about Saints Row later. But that's neither here or there.
In the next
that's in a later segment.
But no. Yeah. So again, my opinion, huge Sony fan. I love Sony's first parties. Their games are great. I'm a huge Sony fan. But if you want to play Call of Duty, I mean, it's best to get an Xbox and just get Game Pass, because that's where it's gonna be. Like even the next 3 games, and then for 3 years after that they're going to be on PlayStation, they're still going to be on Xbox Game Pass. So like, you can pay $15 a month for Game Pass, or you could.
I guess the question is it going to have crossplay?
Oh no, I'm sure it'll have crossplay. It's just well, I don't know. They haven't said that, but I think they currently have crossplay.
Because if you don't have crossplay, then you run into a problem where Xbox and PC is going to be a massive ecosystem, and then PlayStation 5 is going to be closed off, and they'll be just hanging around with their fancier controllers where it vibrates more.
Oh, and that's the thing. Those controllers, they only work like that if they are programmed that way. So, like, when they did, what was it, Call of Duty Cold War? I think was...
Cold Ops 3, Red Dead, the Tekken 7, yes.
So no, the last one was Call of Duty Vanguard. The one before it, I think, was Call of Duty Cold War. So the PS5 version of it, it did have like the trigger resistance for different weapons, but
which is cool.
I mean, if it's being developed in-house on Xbox, I really doubt they're going to take the time to, you know, program the PS5 controls for it. Or I guess the PS5 haptics for it, which that's another thing I'm going to go over later in another game that I'm playing right now. But yeah, again, I guess just the end of my opinion piece. Huge Sony fan, but if you want to play Call of Duty, get an Xbox.
So I wonder how much of the. I mean, this is obviously connected to the fact that Microsoft is acquiring Activision Blizzard.
Yes.
Right. The amorphous blob monster is just having a good old time and eating it. Well, I mean, that is a problem for Sony if it does go away, I guess. But I'm in the same boat with you, man. Like, it just seemed like a half-hearted, like, oh, that's bad, but that he should have been like, thank you for the next couple years, and not going back. It just seems like an odd thing to complain about.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like I said, if they get it, like, even if they did put it out all the time for the rest of time on PlayStation, like, you still get the better value on Xbox.
Oh yeah, any day.
I mean, if your kids or your teenagers like Call of Duty, I mean, you could go buy an Xbox Series S and give them Game Pass, and you literally would just never have to buy a game.
So, speaking of which, I know we haven't really gotten to the Xbox section, but it's going to be even bigger because that family Game Pass is almost here. So it's looking like $25 for 5 people.
Damn.
I think it's called the Friends and Family Plan.
Huh.
Like, it's going to get interesting. Game Pass is a scary giant monster coming up for a lot of these companies, and you see what's happening with the PlayStation where they're raising their price because I don't think they have anything else on the table that will be easily monetizable in the future, and they got to make their money somewhere else.
Well, what Xbox needs to do is give me a freaking discount for buying a whole year in advance. Because
I agree.
I bought a whole year in advance of PlayStation Plus Premium, and it was half the price because I bought it for a full year.
Oh, that's cool. I didn't know they did that.
Yeah. Well, okay, so it's like 1 month is like $15, and then so then 3 months they're like, oh well, we'll charge you. I think it's like $35, so it's like $10 off, and then it's 6 months. I think it's like a free month, and then in a year it's like half off, to where you're only paying like $7.50 a month. But still, like, come on, Xbox, let me give me a cheaper version. Like, let me buy it for a year.
Yeah. All right. Well, I guess that is a good segue into the news segment. So let's do a roundup. So we are going to do a little bit different version of the roundup. I am currently streaming Reddit to Rowdy because we all know that Reddit is the end-all be-all of news, and it is totally believable and true and amazing.
So real quick, I also want to point out, like, even though that's like
a joke,
this is the PS5 subreddit that we're going through right now, there will be stuff on here that's also multi-plat. It just so happens to be on this Reddit.
Yeah. And so normally what I do when we do these news roundups, I try to go through, find things that are interesting, but now we're going to get all the unfiltered garbage and our thoughts along with it.
And we're going to make fun of it.
Yes. So first, first article from the top thing of this month: Quidditch will not be playable in Hogwarts Legacy. It has been confirmed. So from Video Games Chronicle, it has been confirmed that the upcoming RPG set in the Harry Potter universe won't feature the popular wizarding sport Quidditch. They did say, however, broom flight for traversal and broom race challenges are part of the game. You will also fly brooms to explore new and familiar locations surrounding the Hogwarts castle. Lame? Like,
but no Quidditch, man. Like, how you gonna have like an open world like Harry Potter RPG and not have Quidditch, man? Like, get out of here. I already didn't want to play this game, but I don't want to play it more.
I think it looks cool. I'm hoping they do a good job with it, but that seems like that's a missed opportunity. Now, if they did a spin-off like DLC and added it, I think that would be smart. Then you have something like Rocket League, but Quidditch.
Hey Travis, so if you were to go to Hogwarts, what house would you be in?
I have no clue. You know how much I actually know about
You wouldn't
Harry
be
Potter.
you don't know if you'd be a Gryffindor or a Hufflepuff,
Heck no.
or a Slytherin or
I'd start my own house. Anarchy.
or a
I'm sorry.
Ravenclaw.
Whoops. No.
I mean, if I went to
What are you?
Hogwarts, I'd be in Swishahouse.
God. Oh man.
Okay.
I don't even know what Rowdy's talking about anymore. Let's move on. Okay. Next up, the second story: the PlayStation 5 price to increase in select markets due to global economic environment, including high inflation rates. So yeah, it costs more and now it weighs less, is what you were telling me, right?
Yeah, man. So I couldn't find 100% of the details. I'm sure that there are articles out there, but the new PS5 that's hitting the shelves, they've nicknamed it the PS5 Stealth because it has, kind of flown under the radar and is a new model number, but is also 1 pound lighter. I'm sure you could find maybe a Linus Tech Tips video or some of them nerds out there somewhere took one apart and is like, well, if you look here, they're using a liquid gallium cooler here instead of the mercury that was used in the last. Am I making sense right now?
So is that true? Because that sounds kind of interesting.
I don't know.
I'm a nerd, Rowdy. I'm a nerd. I want to know these things.
I don't know. But yeah,
okay.
There are breakdown videos. I just haven't watched one. But yeah, so apparently they've used new components or lighter components due to worldwide shipping issues, supply chain issues. So as of right now, what I've read about the price increase is that the increase will be in, I think, Asian markets right now, and then will spread outward from there. Because I know
that sounds like an infection.
I know it's not hitting everywhere at once, but it will eventually go out elsewhere. Oh, hang on.
So I brought up a list.
Dude, USA's not on here.
I know.
Oh.
The poor people surrounding us in Mexico and Canada, though.
Yep.
Sucks to be you. So I wonder why they didn't touch that in the U.S. Because it seems like, to be honest, we would be able to absorb that cost increase than a lot of other countries. I wonder, has it already happened in the U.S.?
I don't think so. Or at least not that I've heard. Well,
Oh, no, I see it. There will be no price increase in the U.S. because we will all go on to Reddit and Twitter and complain. Oh, it'll be the 1,000 gnashing teeth of screaming, crying children and men.
The sound of a million neckbeards crying out at once.
Oh, it's so bad. Yes. But what's the price increase? It doesn't really say the amount. It's like $50.
It looks like here. So for Europe, it's going to be like €50. The UK,
see less neckbeards in UK.
I think in the UK that's only like £30 because I think they're paying £450 for it, and it's going up to like $480. The yen, man, don't get me started on yen. I can't calculate that.
So I'm safe if I get a PlayStation 5 before Christmas at least.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm still trying to figure out if I'm going to get one anytime soon, but good to know. All right, next up. PlayStation, Xbox Call of Duty offer was inadequate on many levels.
There it is.
Yep. So let's see. Ryan said this is a statement provided by GamesIndustry.biz, which this GamesIndustry.biz, I see this company a lot nowadays. I guess it's just more of a business focused thing.
Hang on, where is it that Ryan says? Okay, never mind.
Ryan says the offer was inadequate on many levels.
Because I was going to say, if there's like a big thing that he says, like I'll read it out in his voice.
Oh, okay. Well, it says that last week Xbox revealed that it provided a signed agreement to Sony to guarantee Call of Duty on PlayStation. Oh, with feature and content parity for at least several more years, beyond Sony's existing contract with Activision. Xbox said this offer goes well beyond typical gaming industry agreements. I mean, I would agree with that. So do you want to read Mr. Ryan? I highlighted it where it's at.
Okay.
Do you need... Yeah.
Get some water. Let me get some water.
He's got a voice for it. Now, this isn't as good as like my... it doesn't sound like the other guy that I always make fun of.
You're Todd Howard?
Todd Howard. I mean, he made Fallout 76 eventually good, but I mean, at first it was a problem.
Okay, here's what Jim Ryan said. I hadn't intended to comment on what I understood to be a private business discussion, but I feel the need to set the record straight because Phil Spencer brought this into the public forum. Microsoft has only offered for Call of Duty to remain on PlayStation for 3 years after the current agreement between Activision and Sony ends. After almost 20 years of Call of Duty on PlayStation, their proposal was inadequate on many levels and failed to take account of the impact on our gamers. We want to guarantee PlayStation gamers continue to have the highest quality Call of Duty experience, and Microsoft's proposal undermines this principle.
It's a sad rebuttal.
Jim Ryan, I've got it. Jim Ryan sounds like an American trying to make a modern day version of like theatrical British speak.
Is he now?
That's it. I'm telling you, you go watch a video of Jim Ryan, you're gonna be like, that was spot on, Rowdy.
That's spot on. Oh, we should have brought Lamer Theater back. All right, next up, we got a couple more of these. There's a rumor that Spider-Man 2 is exceeding expectations. Sure, it's fluid. It has visual punch.
Dude, it's gonna be okay. It's gonna be legit. It's gonna be the best Spider-Man game ever. You get to play as Spider-Man. You get to play as Miles Morales Spider-Man. Venom's gonna be in the game. It's gonna be legit. You shut your mouth, Travis.
But this is a top story for the last month, and it's an unsourced rumor. It even says unsourced with the big orange little thingy up top.
It doesn't have to be. It's amazing.
Don't care. All right, next up, PS5 system software 6.0 release with 1440p resolution support. I like that.
I was going to talk about that a little later when it comes to one of the games I was playing.
Nice. Subtitle Japanese language Ghost of Tsushima movie.
Nice.
Are you excited about it? Okay.
I'll probably watch
more Hogwarts. Okay, so I am fine. So there's a rumor that Sony is going to integrate Discord voice chat in the coming months. Xbox already done it.
The fact that this isn't already a feature is astounding.
So this was rumored a while back, and we thought it was going to come to Sony way quicker, but Xbox has already done it in the Insiders group. I've actually run Discord on the Xbox, and it works great. Now, Xbox is also changing some of their chat stuff, too, to get rid of background noise. So your friend that plays with, like, a fan on them, or their dog's barking, like me, or
that has their microphone right on their mouth, and you hear them breathing all the time, like...
Yeah. Or the police are there constantly because they live in a rough place, and maybe they have some issues with their upstairs neighbor, and they've come down and they're complaining about the thumping on the store. You know, you hear everything, but they're going to about to fix that. Anyway, so I think that's about it. I don't see anything that I really want to talk about. I do want to talk about this. Oh, okay. Hold on, guys. Rowdy, read it. Read it, Rowdy.
Sony Interactive Entertainment has acquired 14.1% of Elden Ring developer From Software.
Oh, man, that's a big one. That is. Now, they're also jumping in with Tencent for this deal. So how do you feel, Rowdy, about getting to play Elden Ring 2 on the PlayStation?
You know that...
Because we know how much Rowdy likes this game.
You know that feeling you get when you're like, man, I really want some Taco Bell, and then you go there and you spend like $15 and get like 8 pounds of Taco Bell, and then you eat it all and you're like, oh man, that was totally awesome. And then your stomach was like, bruh. And then you feel you feel the bubble guts, and then you feel it rush through your colon, and then you have to run to the bathroom as fast as you can. That's how I feel about this.
You imagine that's like 12 days of sodium in one sitting. That's how that works. Okay, so also Tencent has acquired an additional 16% share of From Software. And so Sony and Tencent now hold about 30%, while Katakawa remains the majority holder. So I don't know why they're doing this, because unless the deal was just really freaking good, because after Elden Ring released, I mean, From Software was already a massive company, like a super important one. But I feel like they could stand on their own without a whole lot of ownership from the outside world, especially after I'm going to say it, Rowdy. Elden Ring is a freaking masterpiece. I don't care what you say.
I mean, cool, but From Software, they don't publish their own games. So, like, they develop them in-house, but somebody else always publishes them. Like, one of the Dark Souls.
Maybe they should start publishing.
The Dark Souls were published by Namco. Bloodborne was published by Sony. And then, oh God, who did? I think Warner Brothers did Elden Ring. I could be lying. But yeah, no, it could put enough money in their pockets to where they could start publishing on their own. But so Tencent, I just heard another Tencent thing. Tencent has acquired 49.9% of the stock in the Guillemot Brothers Limited. Now, the reason why that sounds familiar is Ubisoft is headed by Yves Guillemot.
Mm-hmm.
So Guillemot Brothers is the, I guess, parent company of Ubisoft. So basically, Tencent now owns 49.9% of whatever the Guillemot Brothers do. So that's a lot.
Scares me.
Lot of Ubisoft. But
Tencent's going to own everything, man.
Also,
and we're just going to let them.
So anytime Tencent buys into something, they start putting out mobile games.
Oh, yeah. They got to make money.
So yesterday, did you watch the Assassin's Creed showcase?
No.
All right. Get this. All kinds of new projects they're announcing, man. You know how they've been talking about Assassin's Creed Infinity?
I know there's like Mirage. Like that's
yeah.
The thing.
So that was the big one they announced yesterday, was Assassin's Creed Mirage, where you play as Basim from Valhalla, but it's 20 years prior to Valhalla.
Oh, that's cool.
So it takes place in Baghdad, where he was a common street thief, and then is picked up by the assassins to be trained and become an assassin. And it is going to be more of the old school stealth Assassin's Creed than the open world RPG Assassin's Creed.
But I like my open world RPG Assassin's Creeds.
Well, that's good, because they've announced some other stuff. Assassin's Creed Infinity. I know everybody was talking about, oh, that sounds like a weird name for a game. It's not a game. It's going to be a platform, basically.
Mm-hmm.
I still don't fully understand it, because anytime somebody says they're building a platform, I'm like, ugh, and my brain just turns off.
What's the Ubisoft streaming service? It's
Ubisoft Plus, Ubisoft Now.
Yeah, is this basically it, but just for Assassin's Creed fans?
Dude, I still don't know. Basically, from what
no one knows.
What I took from it is it's basically kind of like what their Ubisoft Points or Ubisoft Club thing is basically going to turn into for Assassin's Creed.
Lame.
So they also announced Assassin's Creed Project Jade. Or no, I'm sorry. Assassin's Creed Codename Jade, which is an Assassin's Creed that takes place in ancient China and will be on Android and iOS.
10 cent. Wow.
But they did also announce, what is it? Assassin's Creed Codename Red, which is the open world RPG version of Assassin's Creed in Japan. So it's basically going to be Ghost of Tsushima.
Okay.
And they have also announced Assassin's Creed Hexe, or Assassin's Creed Project Hexe, Hexe. And they didn't show anything but like this creepy like stick totem. It's like the Assassin's Creed logo, but it's built out of like broken sticks and hanging in a tree.
So, Assassin's Creed Blair Witch Project?
Basically.
Yeah. The whole thing is filmed with a bad camera and it's shaky.
But yeah, that was basically all of the Assassin's Creed thing. Oh, and they're doing an Assassin's Creed Netflix show.
So was Ubisoft just like, hey guys, so Assassin's Creed, we make money on that, right? Never mind the other billion things that we can make games for. Assassin's Creed is all we're doing now.
Yep.
Which, I mean, granted, Riders Republic, no one bought.
Yeah.
Then they were going to try to do some sort of weird like frisbee, street jammers or some weird stuff. It was some stupid game that it was like roller derby. It was like roller derby with frisbees or something nobody was interested in. They didn't even like get that off the ground. I don't know what they're thinking in Ubisoft lately, and honestly, Far Cry 5 6 wasn't that great.
Dude, I will punch you in the neck.
So I guess it was fun, right? But I don't think it was good as 5.
No, Far Cry 5 is one of my favorite games of all time. Like that game was amazing.
Yeah.
But like I've got this idea for doing a solo Rowdy's Ruckus Rantings type maybe about Ubisoft and about how like I hate all their business practices but love their games. And how
it's the Caravaggio effect.
I need to get a rabbit tattooed on my neck.
Yes. No, I mean, I guess we'll have to do that. I know we've kind of talked about it in the past, but it's like the artist in their creations versus who they are kind of thing. So Caravaggio was like a famous artist that went around and fought all the time and stuff, and might have killed a dude. But his artwork is seen as like some of the most important artwork for various churches. Like it's So we'll have to get into it one day. He's fantastic artist.
Wait, who's the one that did the Captain America with like the pecs so big that like?
Oh, this is a couple hundred years beforehand.
Oh, never mind. Never mind.
No, I'm talking about high art. I'm not talking about whatever that guy is. Oh man, now I gotta know. I know who you're talking about.
You're talking about real art.
America. We're typing this in right now because it's stream of consciousness episode. Captain America. Bad anatomy. Here we go. That's a scary thing to type in. Watch out.
There
what
it
you're
is.
doing.
There it is. The first picture.
Liefeld. Rob Liefeld. Oh my gosh. This dude's art ruined me for years. That's a hilarious picture.
Dude,
right
yeah,
there.
the skeleton.
Yeah. So Rob Liefeld is a Marvel comic art, mostly Marvel comic. Like if you read X-Force back in the day, or even X-Men in the early '90s, you're probably seen one of his comics. All the women stand on their freaking toes. They look exactly the same. They all have the same mouths, and they just look like they're trying to breathe through
their teeth
mask the whole time. Yeah, it's like if you put a mask on somebody, like a scuba mask, but it was invisible. That's pretty much what their faces would look like. It's kind of perched out and everything. But yeah, he ruined my, because I used to draw from all these comics. I screwed up anatomy so bad just because of this dude. But yeah. Anyway, random things there. Let's go ahead and go into the Xbox news, because it's been multi-platform. It's been PlayStation 5. So this is one right up at the top. So in Europe, they are having a massive electricity price increase due to all sorts of various things going on. And they are trying to let people know that you need to put your Xbox Series X on standby mode, because it could cost you £132 a year. Yeah, put it in energy saver mode if you're dealing with some massive increases in prices. What?
I just think it's funny that the energy company's just like, oh hey, BT Dubs, your Xbox, put it on standby.
Oh no, that was just some random dude online, and I think people are also saying that's not completely true. But this person's also saying, by contrast, the PlayStation 5's default cost around $4 a year, so the Xbox is going to use Xbox powers whenever it's not on, because it installs your games, it downloads things. Well, granted, it does a lot less installing my games lately.
The PlayStation does too. Like, the electricity usage should definitely be a lot higher than £4.
So right up at the top, this says not accurate. See comments. So
gotcha.
This dude is lying. Alex Hearn, whoever that is. Don't care. Don't listen to it. It's garbage. Right at the top, first thing, Reddit has garbage.
Listen,
Most
Alex Hearn,
thing.
You take your lying liar face back to Liarsville, where you came from, you butt.
Yeah. All right, next up, split screen co-op cancel for Halo Infinite. I'm actually sad about this, because there are people that I've been wanting to play this with on co-op. I've been waiting for co-op to play this. I hate it.
Yep.
Now, it's split screen. I don't know if you can you play this multiplayer, like, online?
Oh, I
co-op?
thought that's what was canceled as part of this, was like online, like co-op.
No, it just says split screen co-op, which, yeah, I don't know. People are very unhappy about it, because, people want to sit and play the game with their kids, or,
well, that's what
play with a friend.
That's what I was used to when it came to Halo. Like, I came up in, Halo 1 and Halo 2, where, like, we were like carrying CRT TVs over to friends' houses, and
heck yeah,
and like linking them up through LAN cables and stuff, and having like 4 people on one TV, 4 people on another TV.
Oh yeah.
Like, and that was it, man. This is all on like a 27-inch like Sanyo TV from freaking 1985. Well, it wouldn't have the right hookups. Never mind.
Yeah. Channel 3, Rowdy.
Channel 3.
Put it on
Channel 3.
So next up, there's a new dashboard coming to the Xbox, and it's trying to think of the graphic design term is hamburger.
Nice.
So it's like they just throw up these pictures everywhere. I'm on the Insider Alpha skip ahead. I haven't seen this home screen yet, but they have changed a lot of things in the managing game sections that are pretty cool. And they're getting it to where you can set where you want certain games to install immediately. So you can set it to where if it's like an Xbox 360 game, it'll go straight to your hard drive. That's a slower hard drive.
Yeah.
Whereas if you want the games that are newer, that are Xbox optimized, to put it directly on your hard drive. So you can now start having it sort to things based on what type of game they are.
Dude,
which is cool.
All I know is that, like, the appearance of dashboards peaked at the PS3 and the Xbox 360. Like, after that,
Yeah, I don't really care for the Xbox dashboard. I go straight to my games and apps. The only thing that I really like about the operating system is I can start playing Spotify from the home menu, and you don't have to open it up. Because there's a lot of games that I'll just listen to playlists like Diablo or Rocket League and just play music.
I started playing Spotify music one time because on the Xbox 360 you could load your own music onto the hard drive. So like I would put CDs on there and load my own music, and then when I would play the music from my hard drive, it would automatically mute the music in the game, but it would still play all the audio. Dude, I was playing, it may have been like Horizon or something, because I just got tired of the playlist on Horizon because I've heard it so much. Not that it's bad, I just heard it so much because I played the hell out of it. So I tried playing my Spotify playlist, and like the music from Horizon was still playing.
Yeah, you gotta go and take it out in the options.
Yeah, no, I shouldn't have to.
Well, you're gonna have to, Rowdy. But Rowdy's lying. He doesn't listen to playlists. He just plays the Tony Hawk's 3 music over and over on every game.
I was trying to play the Tony Hawk Spotify playlist. Duh.
I don't doubt this. I don't doubt this. All right, next up, somebody bought an Xbox Series X for $150. That was accidentally marked Xbox One's. Good for them. Is it true? Probably not. Next up, Hogwarts. There is a picture of Harry Potter, and who is that person, Rowdy? I don't watch
that. That
this
is
show.
Luna Lovegood.
And they say, but why can't the others see the Thestros? And then Harry Potter says, they can only be seen by people who bought the digital deluxe edition.
Nice.
Yeah, DLC, it sucks. Next one. People are like, oh my gosh, Xbox awesome. Look at all these game companies. Dead Island 2 is going to be $98 in Canada.
Nope, I'm out. F that game.
Nope. Farfig Nugan, that game, Rowdy says. Next 12 months of Game Pass has a lot of things.
Dude,
there's some good stuff on this list.
Silksong still hasn't come out.
Nope, but it does come on Game Pass. I think that says coming 2023 now. Pentiment. I'm excited about Pentiment, but that's because I'm an Obsidian nerd. Nobody's going to like that game.
I'm super excited about Atomic Heart. Like, I don't know if you've seen anything about that game, but imagine like
they just pushed it back. I am excited about it.
Oh, dude, that game is going to be awesome, man. It's
but tell us what it's like, Rowdy.
It's like,
I want to hear it.
It's like Fallout, but in like an Eastern European like dead zone.
Ooh, it's gonna be Eurojank Fallout. I am down. I like me every now and then. I like a good Eurojank game. You've heard of Eurojank as a term, right?
No.
Oh, type it up one day in Google. Eurojank is usually like Elix, or there's a lot of these other games that are these European games that they're kind of janky, but they're getting way better over the years.
Yeah.
We'll have to have a Eurojank episode because there's some good stuff out there. Let's see. Wo Long is basically Elden Ring. They got Starfield on the list. Valheim is coming to the Xbox.
That's funny.
Yeah. Nothing else that is. High on Life looks fun.
Dude,
that comes out before Christmas.
That's gonna be funny. That game's gonna be so funny, man.
It's straight on Game Pass too. Oh, there's this new game that I keep seeing. I think it comes out like this week or next week called You Suck at Parking. Have you seen anything for that?
No.
Oh, man, go on and watch the stuff for it. So basically the goal is you have all these people that are racing to a parking spot, and you have to try to park in it as fast as you can. But there are explosions. There are like all sorts of things going around. Everybody's trying to get into the parking spot before the timer gets up. It is a good time, or it looks like it's going to be. I am down for that.
Whoa.
Think Fallout guys, but, you know, everybody's trying to get their driver's license.
Fallout guys.
At the same time. Yeah. Fallout guys. Did I just say Fallout guys?
Yeah.
Fall guys.
I
Fallout guys would be freaking fun, though, man.
It's an actual, like, open world Fallout type game, but with the graphics of Fall Guys.
Yeah.
I'm in.
Oh, speaking of Eurojank earlier, Stalker, the original Stalker, would be Eurojank.
Gotcha.
let's see what else. Planet of Lana is a sequel to Planet Alpha, which is a very pretty game if you have an OLED. And yeah, those are some games. People hate the Xbox screen so much that they show concepts of what it should look like. This is actually a pretty sweet looking one by Foreman.
Oh yeah.
And my screens are going crazy. This is the new interface, Rowdy. So you can see it's looks like a PC now.
I hate that. Wait.
Yeah. And what?
It's not. Wait, is that that's like the My Games screen though?
Yeah, so whenever you go to My Games, now under Full Library, it'll sort by all games, owned games, Game Pass, Games with Gold, EA Play, and owned apps.
Okay.
So there's
it doesn't do that now, but it does some of that.
Yeah, it's coming soon. People are sharing Fallout 4 mods and Immortals Phoenix. Let's move on to Nintendo, unless you got anything else you want to talk about with the Xbox.
I've played Fallout 4 on the Xbox with mods. It's pretty awesome.
It is good. It's a good time. It runs better than what I used to run on PC.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because that's
all right. Nintendo Switch. Oh, sorry.
Fallout's good old US jank.
Oh yeah. It is. It's got some of that jank. So Nintendo Switch price is not going up despite higher cost, according to the Nintendo president. So that's good.
Satoru Iwata would be proud.
Yeah, I mean, not like it costs that much to make at this point. Somebody got a Splatoon 3 OLED. This is how much Nintendo news is out right now. This dude carried his Switch through the Appalachian Trail. This is number 3 on the top things this month.
Wow.
Yep. All right. Then Charles Martinet signed a copy of Super Mario Odyssey. That's number 4.
It's Charles Martinet.
Whatever.
Get it right, Travis.
If you don't know who that is the guy that did the Mario voice. Woohoo! That guy, you know?
Who should be doing the Mario voice for the movie.
Oh, man, I would have gotten a pre-order of Splatoon 3 if I was in South Korea. They give you a camping chair.
Yeah, but the type of people that play Splatoon 3, I don't really see as campers.
I don't care, Rowdy. Okay. Evolutions. I hate this. Why is there no news? Then there's crocheted Koroks. And
Pokemans.
A Pikachu whose eyes don't match up right. Why? Why is there even a Nintendo subreddit? There's no news here. This is all garbage. There's a Pixel Noah from Xenoblade Chronicles.
You hear that, Noah?
Yeah, you hear that?
Lance wants something a bit meatier.
Oh, man, that's going to be later, guys. That is going to be later. All right, I'm done with Oh, okay, so this is one. Splatoon 3. I guess we're going to go ahead and... Should we just jump into the games we're playing? Because we got to talk Splatoon 3.
Yeah, sure.
All right, guys. Imagine there is a graphic flying across the screen that says, games we've been playing.
And then, like,
there's
some
music.
Like some jingle that's like...
Yeah. There's thunder, lightnings, and then there's a dragon that's eaten too many cheeseburgers. So, that is exactly what our stuff is today. Now, you've all learned this through the theater of the mind. Okay, Splatoon 3. Rowdy actually bought it. I have played the Splatfest until I was... There's no more kings or queens. It's ruler, despotic dictator. I don't know. It had some new things on there. But Splatoon 3 is good. But I do wish they would raise the tick rate. Do you know what the tick rate is?
No idea.
Okay, so the tick rate is the... basically, this is a 16 hertz tick rate. So every 16 frames, the game's server registers a movement. So within those 16 frames, if you press the button A, right? Or you press to shoot, okay? It only registers that one thing. Okay, and it doesn't change for another 16 frames. So in a game that's 60 frames, you might have like 4 actions within a second. Okay?
Okay.
That you can do. So what ends up happening, if you've ever noticed in Splatoon that you and somebody else kill each other at the same exact time,
Yeah.
all the time, that's because the tick rate is extremely low for this game.
That's literally all of my kills.
So that was the same problem with Splatoon 2, actually. Splatoon 1 had the highest tick rate. So thank you, Nintendo, for making us pay for your servers to get a worse server usage than when it was free.
Oh, man.
So that was a long way of me complaining about paying Nintendo for Splatoon to be able to play online.
Needless to say, though, I really like it so far.
It's cool.
The music, I'm not so much of a fan this time around. Like the first two games, like the music was really good. And yeah, this one not so much. Like some of the original ones, they had like those metal songs and like those faster punk songs, or like the super poppy songs that were just real catchy. And then this one, not so much, man. And yeah, then the last minute song is awful.
It sounds like, okay, this is only going to be people that are really old or know anything about music, but it's like you put Yoko Ono in, I don't know, like the Gravitron?
Imagine
what's that thing? Yeah.
Imagine if Yoko Ono was the lead singer of Death Grips.
Yeah, that is about it. It's just screaming for the last minute. Just it is so ungodly bad that I had turned down the music for this game. And normally I like Splatoon music. And this is kind of our bonus point segment. What is the most annoying things in the game? It's the last minute of Splatoon 3. That is the winner.
Nintendo, get Death Grips to redo the soundtrack for Splatoon 3, you cowards.
I would love that. I would love a Death Grips Splatoon. If you don't know who I'm not telling anybody to go look up Death Grips.
Yeah.
I can't make that suggestion for you. You don't need that in your life.
You're on your own. Yeah. It's great music, but man, you are on your own if you see things.
That is true. Oh, that's very true. Oh man, so you've been playing Splatoon 3, and you get some special stuff whenever you have Splatoon 2 save files, right?
Yes. Okay. So you know how you have to get the licenses from Sheldon to get new weapons. So I have Splatoon 2 save data on mine. So I got 3 golden licenses. So the silver licenses are the ones you earn by leveling, and then you could only buy weapons at that level. Well, I really wanted that katana in the game, so like I used it. It's like a few levels higher than what I am, so I used a gold license and got it. So I was like level 2, level 3, and I had a weapon that was like 7 or 8 somewhere in there. So then I was like, wait, can I buy like any weapon on here? Bruhs, you can totally use your gold license to buy like level 30 weapons before you're there. That's crazy.
It's insane. That is insane. So I just had to share with Rowdy. Apparently there is a Splatoon and Death Grips
that is
crossover. Squidotine MC Pearl. Oh man. I'm not gonna click that. That scares me.
That is awesome. I cannot believe that's a thing.
All right, so speaking of none of this, there's no good segue for this. I'm giving up on that segue. But so I played Splatoon quite a bit. I played with my friend Snickety, who is like one of these people that are like one of the top in the world sometimes. And I liked a lot of the new weapons. Have you tried some of the newer ones yet?
I like the katana a lot.
I did not master the blade. I was struggling with it.
Well, while you were out partying, I was at home mastering the blade.
I do
so-
so much partying working 60 or 70 hours a week, Rowdy.
Yeah.
I did go to a party this weekend, um, but it was just everybody hanging out,
It's just
swimming.
it's a fun weapon because like you can like charge it and like run towards people and then like unleash it, and it's just a ton of paint that flies at them. It's a pretty cool weapon. I also liked the well, it's from the old games as well, but the splat roller.
Oh, yeah.
I love the splat roller.
Dude, did you play the event where... Did you play the Splatfest at all?
Nuh-uh. I was working.
So there was an event where you have 3 teams simultaneously. Do you know anything about that?
I haven't done it yet in this game, but I think I have to get to a higher level before I could do that.
So, well, it was part of Splatfest.
Oh.
And so what happened was, it was rock versus paper versus scissors, right? And so what happened was whenever one of the teams were just beating the heck out of everybody, they would give these matches to where you would try to take over the center of the map and a giant sprinkler would show up. But the team that was winning, so in this instance, Team Red, right? They were winning, so they had all 4 players and they spawned in the center. Team Yellow only had 2 players. Team Blue only had 2 players. So it was really weird, and Team Yellow and Blue are both trying to take over the center to get to the sprinkler. And it's just insanity. Now, rarely the middle team won because they're constantly being surrounded. But Blue and Yellow can both kill each other. So it adds a little bit of craziness to it. But if you had a splat roller, man, you could roll up those hills and just destroy if you did it right. It was fantastic. It's been a while since the splat roller has been useful in this game because it does not spread on the ground as easily as a lot of the other weapons do anymore. But yeah, it's great for that mode specifically. Oh, and I did like the windshield wiper.
Oh, that's what I mean by the katana.
Oh, I thought there was another one that's like it's more like a windshield wiper. Maybe
Yeah,
I'm thinking
it's
of the
like
wrong thing.
It's like a katana windshield wiper.
Yeah, there's another one that wasn't like a katana. I forgot what it was though. Yeah, but you like sling it. Yeah, it was a bit different. Sorry, I was thrown off by the death grips. All right, you got anything else on Splatoon 3?
Fix the music, Nintendo, you cowards.
Oh yeah, fix the music. Man, if there's a way to turn off the music in that game, I would. Like I said, I like Splatoon music usually. I hate that last minute. I mean, it's just Dante's Inferno. It's one of the levels of hell.
You know what? I think that might be the point.
That's the background music. Yeah,
it might be the point. It's like, oh look, last minute, you better do something.
Man, where Brutus is being eaten for all eternity because, the whole stabbing Caesar and everything up in that deep level of hell, that is what's playing forever.
Oh, man. All right.
Anyway, all right. So I guess I'll talk about something I've been playing lately. I've played things that are not on a screen, Rowdy. Well, we have a table that has a screen inside of it, but I've been playing Dungeons and Dragons.
Uh-oh. Do you mean...
It's been a good time.
Dungeons and Dragons? Isn't that from, like, the Hellfire Club in Stranger Things?
Oh, yeah. I forget stuff like that is popular now. Yeah, we're going to go listen to Master of Puppets later.
And don't forget Kate Bush.
Yes, exactly. So we've been playing Dungeons and Dragons, and we stream it actually over here in the Kraken crew on Saturdays. I'll just start sharing that. We do this every other Saturday, and we've been doing stuff from The Curse of Strahd, which is like a book, and it's like a pre-made campaign, essentially. But I've had a lot of fun making characters for this game, and so I'm a undead warlock named Gustavex. Now, the fun part is... the way warlocks work on this game is that you get your powers from some sort of god or demon or something like that, right? So the place that we're at is kind of lost in time, and everybody's trying to escape it, essentially. Well, my character was taken away and killed and then brought back to life, and now he's serving some sort of evil entity, essentially. But this evil entity is going through dementia. And so my character in this game I've made to where his thoughts are constantly discombobulated. And there was like stuffed wolves in this one house, and I had to go throw bones in over him because it's a wolf. He needs to have the bones. And so I've been having a good time. My character's absolutely fun and insane, and I like it.
I just sent you a meme about how the bard is a combat class.
Ah. Oh, is it the one, the bard from, so the best bard ever, by the way, is in Mad Max.
Oh, no. That would be me.
Yeah.
In a post-apocalyptic world. But no, so I'll read it out here real quick. Bard is a combat class, which is true, because I've never met anyone in marching band that didn't want to throw down.
Really? Did y'all fight that much? And you were in marching band. I was not.
Oh yeah. So here's the next part, which I actually did play the tuba, and this talks a lot about the tuba.
Rowdy did. He tubaed it up.
Playing tuba in marching band means you could power walk 2 miles backwards on your toes in 16 minutes without bending your knees while carrying a 35-pound blunt metal object with your arms held at right angles and blasting every extra gulp of oxygen you could spare without asphyxiating to make sounds loud enough to deafen the dead in an act of pure unchristian violence. Your bard is the party member who will teach you how to kill God by example.
That's amazing. Yes, we need to make a marching band of the undead in this game. Rowdy, we need to get you in there for that. You'll be the undead tuba master.
Oh, man.
But anyway, it's been a blast because this character is so like off his rocker. I've been messing with everybody in the game, and there was something where I found out like the people we were going against were not saying true like enchantments or something. I was telling everybody I couldn't tell them it exactly because my mind's kind of squirrely, so I told them what they're saying is not real. It's more like they're trying to sell you perfume, but it's not good smelling. It's from a fart squirrel. And so, yeah. And I had to explain what a fart squirrel was, and that's a squirrel. That's a skunk. Yeah. So I had to describe it to the group. But anyway, it's been really fun, and I've had a lot of a good time with that. I'm actually going to be working on a campaign here soon. I'll have to get you in it, Rowdy. But anyway,
snap.
It's cool. Fun. Go play D&D. It's a lot of freaking work, though. Have you ever wanted to play a game where you need 4 books to make a character? And everyone argues about the rules 24/7? It's Dungeons & Dragons.
Nice.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. Anyway, what's something else you've been playing?
That's why you got to pick up like those little quick campaigns that you play with like 2d6s. Like, yeah. Like that kind of shit. Because, I mean, that kind of stuff. Damn it. I'm going to have to edit that. I've lost my train of thought now. But yeah,
so you go down to the store and buy a cheapo Dungeons and Dragons game. That's kind of all pre-built.
It's like pre-built and stuff like that, and you play it by like with just a few dice. You don't need a ridiculous amount of dice to do everything, and there's not a ridiculous amount of rules. And I've watched some of these online of people playing some of these campaigns, and yeah, some of them are as easy as just having 2d6s.
Yeah. Now I gotta say though, if you don't have an imagination, you're not gonna have as much fun.
Oh no, not at all.
Yeah.
But
if you can't make stuff up on the fly, just go play a video game.
Yeah. And speaking of video games,
what are video games?
Let's talk about Saints Row.
Oh man, that's the game. That's the game that everybody's talking about, and not always in a positive manner.
So this version of Saints Row, I would call it Saints Row Light.
Okay.
Um,
Baby's First Saints Row.
In the original Saints Row, it was a Grand Theft Auto ripoff, but
Yeah.
I still thoroughly enjoyed it. Saints Row 2, it started developing its own identity. Still, really good game. Saints Row 3, man, it started to get a little crazy. Some of the weapons you could use, some of the ridiculous missions you could do. Also, the fact that in Saints Row 3, you're the president of the United States.
So that's not what happens in this game? You don't become the president?
In Saints Row 4, you get superpowers. You're in basically the Matrix. You can...
Ooh.
Well, no, that's adult-oriented. I'm not going to talk about that.
Yeah, let's not talk about that.
There's, like, weapons you can get that are shaped like certain anatomy parts that you could beat people with. And the new Saints Row, just titled Saints Row, is like, I don't know, it's the Wind Waker of Saints Row. Like, well, no.
Is that a good thing?
Wind Waker was really good. Okay, it's just a dramatic, it's a dramatic shift in art style.
Okay, so yeah, I'm looking at the art style right now. I'm gonna be sharing with you, and the color usage is very light. It's very airy, right? It's very. I don't know, man.
Yeah.
I was interested in it, and the more I hear about it, the less interested I'm getting.
The characters just aren't that stand out. I mean, like in the first run of Saints Row games, I mean, you had characters like Johnny Gat, who was just charismatic and bloodthirsty, and he was awesome. Then you had oh my gosh, what's her name? She was like your IT person who liked help with like cyber crimes and stuff like that. Like everybody had these personalities that were amazing. In this one, like it's the equivalent of like what's that actor that I hate? Miles Teller. He's he's the guy that's in the new Top Gun.
Okay.
I hate that dude. He is like the human equivalent of a wet blanket. Like, I cannot stand that dude's acting. That's what these characters are like. And the weapons choices, there's like no weapons. I mean, there's like 2 or 3.
Are they planning on adding more? Is that what they're trying to go for here? Is like, we'll actually add the game later on.
Oh, I don't know. I mean, I've already discovered the whole map. Like I thought that like where I was at the beginning was just like it hadn't fully opened up yet, but like yeah, I've been across the whole map. It's easy. Now I will say there's a ton of customization in this game. They got that part right, but it's like that's the only thing that they really focused on.
So you've played most of the other Saints Row. I've only kind of dabbled in the row.
Oh, I've played every single Saints Row.
So are they just being too safe with like the characters in this game?
Yeah.
Like as far as the story development, are they like too afraid to, I don't know, insult people or otherwise? Because I know the other games were kind of wild.
Oh, this one, the old ones were very insulting. Like very adult oriented. There was a lot of sexual content, a lot of, you know, blood and gore and stuff like that. And then in this new Saints Row, like there are LARP missions where you wear cardboard armor and shoot cardboard bullets out of your guns.
I mean, it looks like a bunch. Whenever I look at the artwork, it just looks like a bunch of social influencers. I hate that term. That are going around and doing stuff.
Funny thing is, the guy on the left there with no shirt and 2 guns, a social influencer DJ.
I hate everything about this game already, and I haven't even played it.
It was fun, like when I played of it, but it's not a Saints Row.
Gotcha.
That's the best way I could put it.
It's very filtered looking in a sense. It's very clean. It doesn't look like it has that grittiness or the hard edge. Like even the artwork, you know, the artwork looks soft. It does, like you said, it has a color palette that's similar to Breath of the Wild. And that's not what I think about in a game like this. I don't think light, cheery, open game. I kind of want a wild, ruckus time if I'm going to play something like this. And this does not scream wild, ruckus time.
Well, so the beginning of the game, I was like, man, this is great. This is
I remember
on.
you texted me. Yeah.
Like for real, man. The first mission, like you're jumping, like you're running through what looks like a replica of an old west town, and you're shooting all these people down and stuff, and then you gotta chase after this guy who then steals a jet. Then you jump on his jet. Then you like use this hook to make it to where his jet can't fly because it's stuck to the side of this canyon, and I mean it was over the top action. And what made it even better is I gave my character a southern accent, so like everything he said was even funnier. And
nice.
For real, for like the first 5 hours of this game, I was like, man, this is awesome. But then the next 10 hours, it was the same thing.
That's what I keep seeing. Like people are, it's redundant, and it kind of loses. It's lost the spirit of what it was.
Yep.
Yep. Well,
that describes.
I got a game I can talk to you about, Rowdy.
What you got?
Have you ever been chased by invisible things?
Can't say that I have.
Yeah, I have, and I'm not crazy. But so
institutionalized.
I just wanted a Pepsi. Oh man, nobody's gonna understand that joke. Conan Exiles Age of Sorcery has come out. We did a podcast on what it's going to be a couple episodes ago. There will be a new one at some point in the future when we get a little more time with it. But man, it was scary the first 4 days because they did not test anything when they released it apparently, and everybody started turning invisible in the game. Your thralls that follow you around would start losing. They would you just see a floating torso, or there'd be random naked parts, which was very scary. Or the worst thing was when you'd be chased by health bars and you don't know what those health bars really are. Or sometimes the health bars aren't there. Like, there were invisible alligators in the water. How do you run from invisible alligators? See, this is a problem because Rowdy and I both live in the steamy swamps of Southeast Texas, and we have been taught since we were tiny little things to run from alligators. But not just run in a zigzag pattern. You see, this is the important stuff you learn on this podcast, right? But no one told us what to do if those alligators were invisible. And I had problems with this. So, very rough starting to the game. And things would just kill you out of the middle of nowhere. And then your bedroll wouldn't work. So in Conan, you respawn at your bedroll. I was just I was done after I had already gone to a place where there's a lot of iron in the desert and made my little hut, and something killed me invisible, and I ended up way back at the beginning of the game. I had a bed, Rowdy. I had one. I had a spawn point. It did not spawn me there.
I just had a flashback about random weird things you're taught about survival as a child in this area. Quicksand.
Quicksand. Oh, so quicksand is somewhat of a thing out here.
Yeah.
Yeah, everybody's like, oh, I thought I was going to have so many more quicksand issues. You ever been in a swamp?
It's not good when you're in a swamp and you find dry sand.
Yeah, I've lost shoes in the swamps out here. That's not a good place. Snakes, when you have to color code your snakes to make sure it's one that's going to kill you or not. Red and yellow, kill a fellow. Red and black,
Venomy lax,
or friend of Jack. Depends on who your friends are.
Yeah, but some people around here think Jack Daniels, and then they would try to hang out with the snake, and it would still bite them.
So I remember one time, like, there was a log that was knocked over, and we were crossing this little ditch. Everything's a ditch out here. Some sort of drainage canal.
And then I rolled this log over, and there was a stick under there. And I was like, that log had a child.
No, Rowdy. No, that is not what No, it was far more frightening. I looked down, and there was probably about 20 snakes in a ball. Which, we're not going to discuss what they were doing. But at the time, as a kid, I was like, oh my gosh, that's a lot of snakes. I am going to get out of here.
You know how they talk about the Rat King?
Yeah.
Like, that was the Snake King.
That was the Snake King. Now, looking back on it, it was probably just, king snakes. But some wildlife out here, man. Now, though, what's scary is not so much the snakes anymore. Except for the water moccasins. Screw water moccasins. I hate everything about water moccasins. Especially that one time it was in a tractor scoop and it tried to bite somebody that was next to the tractor. Screw that water moccasin. But hogs, man. Feral hogs are so bad out here now.
Yeah, and a bullet is not doesn't have much stopping power for a hog unless you put it in the right spot.
Yeah, so we just went way off the rails on this podcast. Stream of consciousness, guys. Stream of consciousness through the swamps.
They need to make a, what is it, Bayou Billy version of Conan.
Dude, I would play that. Because oh man, the hogs are so crazy. My wife saw one the other day and it was like just massive. I mean, there's like 600-pound hogs nowadays because they just go out and they eat whatever, alive or not.
That's why you never trust a man with a pig farm.
That is true. That is true.
If they made a swamp version of Conan, like, it would be like, why did Rowdy and Travis start at their levels so high?
Because we know, guys. Between that and you throw a 500-year flood at us, we're freaking set.
We start playing the game, and Travis's character starts yelling, "Shoot him!"
Well, I mean, you know how to become the king of an area, right?
How's
During
that?
a hurricane, you pick an alligator and you ride it. You own that area. That is how you are chosen. It's a little tricky though because of the zigzagging. You got to get it just right. If you go at too obtuse or not cute of an angle, you can't get on that alligator.
I thought I was going to become the king of an area one time because I did wrestle an alligator, but then as soon as I was done wrestling that alligator and riding it, then a guy rode by. He had two it was two alligators that were kind of like his horse and chariots, and he was skiing on two otters. Like,
oh man,
that was the king of this area.
That is the king of this. I wish I had time to draw that as a graphic for this episode, because that is freaking amazing. Man. Oh, guys, we are so off the rails on this one. Let's go ahead and try to get back to what we were talking about. Yeah, Conan Exiles, it's a game. The new spells on it are interesting. I haven't gotten very many yet because everything was broken, but I'm looking to find out more soon.
Nice.
That's all I got. You got any more games?
I want to play that Dune game that I made fun of now, because you said it was made by the people who did Conan.
Heck yeah. I think that's a lot of what this new Conan update is trying to do.
Gotcha.
It's trying to be an MMORPG. Like, yeah.
So, let's see. Sleeper hit, Generation Lost.
Oh, yeah, you were telling me about that.
So, like, this is on Game Pass, and I saw it, and I read stuff about it, and I was like, it looks kind of janky. I'm gonna, I think I'm gonna sit this one out. Well, I'm sorry, it's not called Generation Lost. It's called Generation Zero.
I was about to say, I was looking up some things. Generations Lost for Sega Genesis.
Oh,
that
wow.
looks like a romance novel.
It does.
I don't know. Yeah, I couldn't do anything without seeing you, Adrian. You bring that might not be a safe game. Right? Generation what? Generation Zero.
Generation Zero.
Oh man, watch out what you type on Google, guys.
Yes, that is it. Okay. So
I typed it in wrong.
This actually, now that I think about it, is going to be some Eurojank, Travis.
Heck yeah, I love me some Eurojank.
The game looks really good, but there's just so many reused assets. Like, you go into these bunkers and you're like, I've been to this bunker. No, you haven't. It's just been reused. So it takes place.
Avalanche Studios. Oh yeah.
So it takes place in Sweden.
It's a Swedish video game developers.
And it's basically, it takes place in 1989, after the Cold War, where all citizens of Sweden are taught like advanced survival and combat techniques because of the Cold War. So basically, like, the teenagers in Sweden there, like, are basically soldiers. So you and your friends are away on a weekend trip, and when you come back, for some reason you're coming back on a boat. You live on this archipelago in Sweden, and you come back on this boat, your boat gets close to land, boom, big explosion, you wake up on the shore. Then it's I think it's up to 4 people multiplayer. So then, like, as a team, you have to, I guess, find out what the heck is going on. So you enter this first house. It's going to be your first safe house. And you get, like, this little pistol and some ammo and, like, a baseball bat. And then it's like, all right, go have fun.
So you said it's multiplayer, right?
Oh, yeah.
So what you're saying is you need to come over and bring this game, and then... Is it split screen?
It's definitely online.
So we get
It's
another
not
computer.
split
We
screen.
got to play this.
So I have, I played it on easy because, like, I'm playing it by myself, like, and this is like a multiplayer game, and I've seen how hard it can be. I've watched videos online and stuff, and it can get ridiculous. Like, if you're roaming around at night and, like, one robot spots you, you can get overwhelmed, like, quickly. Oh yeah, so the story, you come back from your trip, big explosion, you're in this
Boom,
house.
boom.
When you try to find out, well, it turns out that, like, Sweden has been invaded by these robots, and you don't know where they came from. So you're having to, get to all these different safe houses and these bunkers to get new weapons and upgrade stuff. And dude, like, I have some fairly good upgraded weapons, some pretty good skills on my skill tree, and I'm still getting spanked. And, like, I'm playing it on easy.
How do you heal?
You have to carry around, like, these first aid rations.
If they're not Swedish fish, I don't want to play it.
No, they're just these rations. But no, I mean, there's all these different kinds of robots. I mean, you've got, like, these quadruped, like, dog-like robots that'll run at you, that have, like, these gas tanks on their back, which you have to try and shoot, so they'll
Nice.
explode. Well, then you get to the next part, and it turns out that these things have been upgraded to where they have shielding around those gas tanks, so they're stronger. Some of them are like these bipedal, like, tall human-esque ones that originally start out with just, like, machine guns, but then they get to the point where they have, like, flamethrowers, grenade launchers, these big spears that they could, like, run up to you, jump in the air, and stab you with. Then there's these crazy, crazy huge ones that, like, just chunk everything at you. Dude, I've got a freaking rocket launcher, and some of these robots are pretty hard to kill. So, yeah, I'm going to need a little help.
Yeah, I'm down. I want to play this now. That sounds like a good time.
Now,
and then the
again,
robots post on Totally Not Robots on Reddit afterwards. It's crazy.
True.
Yeah.
But like I said, it is pretty janky. Like, there's some weird physics stuff, and, like if there's a bush that you can walk through, then you could be seen through it. But if it's a bush that you can't walk through, it's like a wall. So that was kind of annoying because I was trying to hide behind a bush one time, but I was getting shot through it.
Oh.
And the only thing I could think of is that I could walk through that bush, and that's why.
Gotcha.
But yeah, so there is some jank to it, but I've had a ton of fun with it.
Yeah, it looks like a good time. I'm definitely gonna be looking at that in the future.
Then,
Ray.
no, I'll save that one for last. Okay, so then the Last of Us remastered. Last of Us is one of my favorite games of all time.
Is it?
Yes.
Oh, I never knew that.
And it is an amazing game. Last of Us Part 2 was okay. It doesn't make it to my top 10. But no, Last of Us is like top 5. Like, it's a really good game. Storyline's great. So I was like, remastered, we'll see. And a lot of people got mad because not remastered, remake. Because a lot of people get mad because when they say like remake, they think of like the Resident Evil 2 and 3 remakes where they were like ground up, like completely different engines that they're running on and stuff like that. So this is a remake, but it's basically an upgrade to like the intelligence of the enemies, the clicker zombies and stuff like that. The oh my gosh, the foliage and all the background stuff looks million times better this time around. It's more interactive with a lot of the stuff that you can use. Now the fidelity upgrades. So I don't like playing in 4K. I've realized recently. When I was playing Saints Row, I was playing on Xbox Series X. I played it in 4K mode, and it won't run at 60 frames a second in 4K mode. Saints Row just won't do it.
I saw some of the Digital Foundry stuff, and it struggles.
Oh, yeah. So I played Saints Row at 1440p at 60 frames. Worked great. So on Last of Us, I booted it up in 4K. Hated it. Didn't run good.
Was it running at 30?
It was. It said it was running at 40, but like,
does PlayStation have the VRR stuff up and running yet? The
I don't even know
variable
what that
refresh rate. Variable refresh rate.
Okay,
we need to talk outside.
You could. I know there's a way that you could play this game at like an unlocked frame rate.
Pretty much that. Like it.
Okay.
So the TV that I know you have can do it, but you gotta have. I don't know if PlayStation has it working for every game yet, but it's usually really nice whenever it's set up that way. And if it's not, a game at 40 frames per second would be absolutely atrocious to play because it's going to duplicate certain frames to match that 60 frames per second thing.
I guarantee you that it's not every game. This is the only game I've ever seen it on so far on PlayStation. So back to the whole 1440p thing that's new on PlayStation. Mm-hmm. I've been playing at 1440p, 60 frames. Beautiful. It's a freaking beautiful game. It looks so much better. Oh my God. It makes the game amazing. Seeing just the way that the characters' faces move and the updated character designs and stuff. Man, this actually feels like the way that Neil Druckmann described The Last of Us when they were first making it in 2013. This is what it feels like their vision was now. Again, still not a super long game. I think maybe 15, 16 hours long. But there's just so much in it. Plus, this one gives you high replay value because guess what you can unlock in this game?
What can you unlock in this game?
Cheats.
What?
Cheats.
Oh, I thought you said beats and then yeets, and it's like nobody says yeet anymore. That hasn't been used in like 3 years.
Cheats, man.
Cheats are in this game, like big head mode,
like infinite ammo, like ridiculous filter modes, making it like harder mode to where like you do more damage, but you're one hit. And
can you play as Noob Sabat?
I wish. But yeah, no. If you have never played The Last of Us, this is definitely the way to play it. And if you are a fan of The Last of Us, it is definitely worth playing again. But again, Last of Us is always mired in controversy by neckbeards worldwide.
Yes.
So, but yeah, it's awesome. I love it.
All right. So is that the last game?
The last one.
It wasn't The Last of Us. It was that. It's the second to Last of Us.
Yeah, well, I saved Xenoblade Chronicles 3 for the last.
We
so
didn't
we could
talk
both
about
talk about
Xenoblade.
it.
Oh man. This is the perfect segue game for the most annoying thing in the world. I mean, in gaming.
Absolutely.
So I guess we got to be careful with how much we got to do a spoiler cast at some point on this, like we did with the Valhalla.
Yeah.
If I ever find time to finish this game, how many hours are you into this? Because we're about the same place. You're a little bit further than me.
Oh gosh, I'm probably 40 hours in.
I'm 50 hours in.
Oh,
because I keep like trying to do all the side missions before I do like the next story mission that's of the same level.
Yeah.
So I
have to keep roping myself back in.
Yeah, and some of those side missions are turning into a slog. Like,
yeah, dude.
I'm getting really bored, and I'm like, why don't I just go play the story?
Yeah, dude. I would get to a point where I was just like, I'm about to put this game down. And then I'm like, no. Play a story mission. And then I play a story mission, and then I'm back on the edge of my seat. Because if one thing Xenoblade does great, it's story.
Oh, absolutely. And that's I like the fighting in this game. I think it's really nicely done. And if you don't know what the story is, Xenoblade Chronicles 3, it's the third one in the series. They're all kind of like this. They got this kind of philosophical concepts to them, but in this game you are kind of a combination of two different opposing sides that are controlled by these giant clocks of doom monsters or whatever. And the more you kill of the other side, the more you power the clocks. And you have to kill so many people within a time frame or your character dies. And you only have 10 years to live. And you're just kind of in this perpetual loop of fighting for your side. And as you get further into the story, I don't really want to ruin it, but your concepts of what the world is are completely different. Rowdy's cat is now attacking the microphone. So yeah, it's really well done. I don't want to get too far into the story until we get to the spoiler cast, because I know recently you can kind of guess what's going to happen in some parts of the story, but as you start seeing the people outside of this 10-year, people that live 10 years in a battle, essentially, it gets interesting. They start peeling back more layers of it. I'm curious to see where they're going to go, because I think we're both about halfway through with the game.
So it's funny. I just looked up how many chapters are in the game. So there's 7 chapters in the game.
Oh!
But the chapters are they're getting longer. So
yeah, chapter 4 lasted forever.
Like, oh, you know what? I take it back. I didn't look up how many chapters were in the game. Okay, have you done any mission to where... What's the best way to say it non-spoiler? Okay, so you have your classes.
Yes, and I'm working on getting as many classes as I can, but it's getting annoying.
Have you done any mission where you can double the level of your original classes?
I don't think so. No, I haven't gotten there yet.
Okay, so there was a point where I did a mission.
You cap off at level 10, right?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
So I've done the one for Uni, and now I have Uni as a level 20 medic gunner.
Ooh.
So you do these. It's basically a mission for that person.
Yeah.
And then once you beat that mission, then you could work on getting them 10 levels higher in their original class. So I looked up I looked up where those missions are in the chapters, and there's 2 in chapter 5, 2 in chapter 6, and then 2 in chapter 7. My bad.
Oh, okay.
I didn't look up how many levels were in the game. But yeah, so like Noah's is the last one, and it's in chapter 7. And then, but the crazy thing is like now that I've got Uni at like a level 20 medic gunner, I don't want to put her in any other class.
Yeah, so if you, for people that are not sure what we're talking about, so in this game, you normally characters in video games are stuck with one class, right? In this game, like you have a sword fighter, you have a medic, or you have a tank, and they basically are that. They're either fighters, tanks, or healers, and then there's variations upon those. Well, you switch classes all the time. It's not dependent on who your character is. Some are better at different classes than others, or they get more experience actually than other classes. And you can kind of play, the game kind of forces you to switch everybody around. And it does make for an interesting balancing mechanic, because if you're trying to get everybody kind of leveled up in one type of character, well, if you don't have enough healers or you don't have enough shields, basically, or tanks, you'll just get the crap knocked out of you. I had to go back on one enemy and change all my classes to like level 10s again, because we were just getting destroyed because everybody was like a level 1 or 2. So but yeah,
another cool thing about it is once you master that class, like you can equip moves from that class when you're not using that class. So like you could have somebody that is made for attacking. Well, they've mastered a we'll say like a medic class. So you can use stuff from that medic class as alternate arts on your D-pad instead of your button pads. So because you get like 3 regular arts and a special art per class, and then you could add 3 other arts from other classes on your D-pad. So like I have a guy who attacks a bunch, but he also has like a medic skill and a tank skill as well. So it's kind of cool the way that works.
You know how confusing this all sounds, by the way? Like, this game has tutorials for at least 20 hours. Like, I'm getting the math meme, like, where you have the guy looking forward and all the numbers are flying across their head. That's what it's like to play this game in the battles after a while.
100%.
Like, I stepped away from this game for a week, and I came back to it, and I almost didn't want to play because it was, like, too much all at once. There are so many levels of complexity to the battle mode.
But what is crazy is if you get it just right, like if you get the balance of the characters just right and you give them like the right arts, like dude, you can go into a fight and just not even push a button.
That is true.
So like that's one thing. So it basically turns into auto battle.
Well, you can set auto battle too.
Well, that's true. But it's cool, like the way that it works. And then like the only problem is that you'll find yourself, you know, every few hours to where you spend about 30 minutes trying to redo the arts for different characters.
Yep.
And if it wasn't for that stupid song that plays in the menu, it would be okay.
Oh my gosh, there's so. Should we just go ahead and move to the next segment and start griping about it? I don't think there's
music.
Yeah, let's start bonus points officially, like, because we gotta do this, because this is the game that inspired it, and oh my goodness, guys, I'm just ripping at my hair. All right, bonus points. What is the most annoying thing in a video game? So we asked all of you lamers on Twitter and elsewhere because I was playing. Rowdy and I were both playing Xenoblade Chronicles 3, and we heard the thing about lands. Well, okay, so Rowdy, what is lands? What do they say to Noah?
You hear that, Noah? Lands is looking for something a bit meatier.
They say that at least 100 times within the first 10 hours. I wish this was an exaggeration. The characters at the end of every battle, there is it's not just a phrase. It'd be like, oh boy, you know, something like that would be okay. But no, it's an entire like series of sentences and responses back between the team of 8 people.
Did you see that, Mimi? Yeah, Senna, you looked great.
Yeah, Rowdy's hopefully just throwing all of these in this podcast in random places, so you know by the time you've gotten to this point where we've been. And
I'm the girl with the gall.
Rowdy is the girl with the gall, and so So that's the thing. This game has so many repetitive elements that are painful at times. The music is beautiful in this game. Don't get me wrong. I like the music in this game. It's a little too mellow, I think. I do wish it was a little more lively at times. But my gosh, that dude, when you get into the battle mode with the flute, that guy's just popping up on his recorder going 90 to nothing, just probably headbanging at the same time, which seems very dangerous with the recorder.
So here's a problem that I find with the score in this game.
Okay. This is rowdy territory because I don't know musics.
Okay, so like Xenoblade Chronicles, the first one, like the music, it was great. Like you would get into these wide open plains and just this real dramatic orchestral music was playing, and it just really fit the scenery of the game. And then something that the first couple of Xenoblade games did was have different versions of the songs during the day and night cycle. So Xenoblade Chronicles 1, it was really good. I hate to say it, never beat Xenoblade Chronicles 1. I've played it like 3 times and have gotten like 20 hours in all 3 times, and then something else comes up and I can't play it. I can't finish it. I come back to it, can't remember how to play it. So
what you're saying is I have to lock you into a room for about 3 days. No, basically. It takes longer than 3 days to beat.
Oh, yeah.
You need 90 hours on this game. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So then Xenoblade Chronicles X is where I got into it. Travis actually bought me a copy of the game for Christmas. And he's like, you have to play this. Mm-hmm. And I dropped, I think, 110 hours into that game. And the music in that game, while there was one song that was super annoying.
Yeah.
Exactly. A lot of the other music was great. Like you would walk into these places and just depending on the scenery and the environment is how the music would play. And at nighttime it would be like a calmer or slower version. It was just it was always great music. Xenoblade Chronicles 2 got all jazzy and stuff and like would react with like your hits and like, kind of like jazz, playing all the wrong notes.
But the feeling was there, right?
Yes, exactly. Then even in the the Torna expansion pass was like remixed versions of the songs that were still great and fit everything. Now, this game, you go to the menu, it's that same song every time. It starts off with that little piano trill at the beginning. Do 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 do. Every time you go to the menu. Every time. And then
it's such a hook too. Like it can't just be something that slowly builds. It's like a launch, it's a salvo of the same freaking notes over and over each time.
Yes. So there is a battle song in this game that is super annoying because you'll be in the middle of the battle and the end of the song will play and then it'll start over. Mm-hmm. Now, the problem with it is that when you're writing fight music, you have to make it aggressive sounding, and if you win at the end of it, there basically has to be kind of like a victorious sounding end.
Does crescendo, is that a word that works with this?
Well, crescendo basically means it gets like louder.
That's wrong.
But basically, like you change chords to where it's like a happy sounding thing. And what's funny is you'll know what I'm talking about. There'll be a battle, like you're fighting the battle, and then it'll end with the like da 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 da.
Yeah.
It'll end, and it's like all happy sounding, like all triumphant, like you won. But the battle's still going, and then it starts over. That's very poor looping in the game. Like I'm not a programmer. Okay, so I don't know how you would program this, but what you're supposed to do is have the same music loop over and over and over again, and then whenever you win, bam, it's what you call a coda, to where once a certain thing has been met in the music, you instantly go to this new section. So then once you go to that new section, then that'll be the end of it, like the triumphant ending music. It irks me so bad. And then another thing that gets me about soundtracks is the overuse of an instrument. So I understand that when it comes to the aesthetic feel, I don't think that makes sense.
Words are hard.
The feel of the music, when it comes to certain things, you should have certain instruments in it. You should have certain types of music that play. But when you have this traditional Asian flute in every single freaking song in the game, and every time you have to send off corpses,
and
look,
that's why you have it, right? Your character and the other character that eventually you
meet up with,
meld with, y'all both play these flutes, and it causes the spirit particles to dissipate.
Yeah. Of what they call husks on the battlefield. So this traditional flute that is in every single song in the game, I mean, it is just non-freaking stop. And I understand why it's in there, but there are other Asian instruments that they could have used in place. But instead, like, there are parts where there's like metal guitar and the melody is played by this flute. No. Get out of here with that noise.
There was a...
I mean, why couldn't the Offseers had saxophones?
There was a Sony game that had that they only had piano music for. It was some sort of RPG. I wish I could remember what it was. But it drove me crazy because it was the same thing. There'd be the same piano battle music. There'd be the same, like, overworld piano music. And it was all done with just that instrument, basically. The entire game was piano. And it gets old after a while, man. And
I love the piano. It's a very beautiful instrument, but not every 2 seconds for every single piece of music.
Yeah, and that's what gets me with this game is it's just it's too much after a while. But even then, like, so every now and then I'll play video game music in class while we're doing stuff. And I just found a lot of the music on this soundtrack, the overall music is very low energy.
Yes.
And I don't think it really describes the world. It doesn't really. So, nerd stuff. The concept of synesthesia, right? The crossing of senses from like visual to audio. Like the concept of hearing something sizzling, we think hot, right? We get a touch sense. Red, we usually think of as hot. That's kind of a mixture of that. I don't get that same feeling for this game. Like I can't determine like what would be an ice level in the music or what would be an open field. And I don't know, it's just all very similar. And when I think of music from the other Xenoblades, like the Gwar Plains, is very distinct, or, different areas that I feel very closed off in this game, too. And that's something I don't really like. Like, I don't know. I like the story in this Xenoblade, but to me, it's one of the more boring overworlds that I've been in. I might be crucified for that.
No, I can understand that, man, because the old Xenoblade games, like the music was a plus, but they've always had good story and gameplay.
Yeah.
Whereas the overworld in like Xenoblade Chronicles X was awesome, like with the different continents that you went to, and Xenoblade Chronicles 2, where it was the different, was it Titans that you would go to?
Yeah.
Like, it was awesome. And in this one, now that I say this, like, there's probably going to be like some type of,
it's probably going to open
story
up.
arc.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's going to be like something crazy that happens. and we're gonna be like, "Oh my God, the world got
We
so
were
much
so
better."
wrong. 50 hours later.
Watching the music changes and it's absolutely amazing, and yeah. But
We're complaining
I
about
would,
this game a lot.
well, I mean,
That is the reason
mainly
why
just
we made this bonus point.
But yeah, I would still suggest that if you're an RPG fan and if you like the old Xenoblades, you should definitely play it.
Yeah, I mean it's worth it. I know I'm complaining about these things; they are minor in the grand scheme of things, but overall, it is a good game. But hey, we have more bonus points, Rowdy.
Yes, we do.
You want to start the party, or do you have your notes up and ready? Because you're the first one on the plate.
Oh,
That's
pulling it
baseball
up.
talk, I think. Is that how that works? We
Sure.
we don't know sports as well.
I love sports ball.
Yeah. But yeah, you're the first one underneath the bonus points. What is the most annoying thing in a video game?
All right. Well, the most annoying thing in video games is when you see that it's made by From Software.
Oh, Rowdy just angered everyone. Even more than a podcast over there at Moretta Podcast said, darn, I can't say what he really said. But all right, so I also shared with everybody that I'm going to need everyone to just comment random Xenoblade battle closers below this, because that is the answer. So even though we've told you a bunch of them from this Xenoblade, the original pain-making one was, it's rain time, because there was a character named Rain, R-E-Y-N. And there are so many memes. I had to post one where it shows rain and there's a clock and it just all says rain instead of the numbers. And it says, good heavens, look at the time. It's rain time. My wife, I swear, she hates Xenoblade games. Absolutely. She will not be in the same room with me because of this kind of thing.
Yeah.
All right, you want to get the next one that you put on about the trailers?
So the next one I put is, like when you watch a really good trailer and you really want to play it, but at the end of the trailer it says MMORPG. Looking at you, Dune Awakening.
Now, it is made by the Conan people. We'll see. All right.
But there is also no gameplay of it right now. So I'm kind of in this like excited limbo.
Yeah, it looks like there'll be sandstorms, which we know how that is in Conan. Next up is a Mortem51 at Erodimatromi, who is also in our Kraken Discord that comes and visits. Says, the most annoying thing I can find in video games is when devs include items with only a placeholder for descriptions when examined. No description available for item. Lazy! That happens a lot in PC games.
Oh, yeah.
Once again, Conan, I've found lots of things like that, but I think it's usually programming errors. Do you want to get Texas Blues at Texas Blues YouTube?
People who join an online game and completely ruin it for others. Amazing example is Team Fortress 2 Casual. Bots will flood in. Sometimes it's just harmless, annoying stuff like spamming voice chat with music. Then there's the ones who will kick real players and aimbot from across the map.
That's why I don't play MMORPGs half the time or online games, because of
that's
people
why
like
yeah, it's yeah, I can't do it.
I tried to play the not Skyrim, but Elder Scrolls MMORPG, and the first day I went there and played it, there was some guy standing in like the square singing terrible renditions of songs. And then he was just saying a bunch of racist stuff. I was like, okay, I'm done. Goodbye.
I mean, you just solved up most MMORPGs right there.
Yeah, I know I did. That was that's pretty much MMORPGs. All right. Next up is Omega C Studio, who puts out some awesome artwork on Twitter. Said, unskippable lengthy cutscenes leading up to final boss encounters.
See, I can see that.
If it's your second time playing it.
Yeah, I was going to say what's even worse is if it's like unskippable every time you get to it.
Yeah.
So it's like by the fourth time you're having to watch it, you've already got it memorized and you're mocking them as they say it.
Mm-hmm. All right,
Yeah,
so
you got to climb to the top of the tower.
everything's skippable in the new Xenoblade too, which is surprising to me.
Yeah.
And you got to hold the button down. That is important. Whenever you can
Very.
do a skip cutscene and it's just a button press, that's annoying. You need to be able to like, you got to
Hold the button.
Yeah, I mean, you don't need to like do a combinations of buttons or like Leisure Suit Larry answer who was the president in 1983. But give us like a hold button down for like a good 5 seconds. All right, do you want to? You want to get Tony Coffee, who's the _ Goomba, and I'll get JC Kane.
Not in a game exactly, but I find nothing more annoying than having to install a game before you can play it.
Then at JC _ Kane says, controls not working or controls that are just bad/hard. I shouldn't need to fight the controls to play the game. Why it's my most annoying thing in the video game. Resident Evil. Resident Evil. Oh, man. Oh, I had a cold all of a sudden.
You need to play the new Resident Evil games. They got rid of the tank controls.
I have played the new ones. I'm just not that big of a fan of horror games.
I will punch you in the other side of your neck that I punched you in a minute ago.
By the way, JC Kane, it says he is a video game player, Sonic fan, Pokemon fan, creator of stories, and creator of video games. Ooh, fancy. All right.
So then Tony replies, luckily, we have less of that issue now. Motion controllers are pretty rare.
I mean, it's not always motion controls. Oh, man, you remember bad motion controls on the Wii days? Okay, so this next one. I might have accidentally put this one on here twice in our notes. But JT at Wheeljack Casual says, when an NPC has a walk speed slower than your default walk speed. Oh, my goodness. That is definitely one of Dante's Inferno, like one of the levels of hell in video games. Like Brutus is constantly walking slowly behind Caesar. I don't know. It's bad.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
There's a what is it? This is what I don't like about Red Dead 2. The walking speeds and the controls. That has the most horrendous controls, and I know everybody hates it. That I say this, but I own it, and I still can't get past the beginning area because I hate the controls so much.
Like how you have to tap the run button to run, not hold it.
Stupidest ideas. Anyway, all right. You want to go ahead and get at Weston Hasty?
Oh yeah. Infrequent autosaves murder my soul.
Oh man, yeah. Next up, GNR Frank says repetitive quest lines. In other words, fetch quest, Xenoblade 3, or poorly used backtracking, and lastly, overly long, drawn-out endings. Yeah. That'll do it. For some reason, I turned into Jimmy Stewart at the end of that one.
Budget Arcade Podcast says unnecessarily long tutorials. Assassin's Creed.
Oh yeah.
He didn't say Assassin's Creed. I just threw that in there.
Yeah. No. Yeah, that was us. Next one is at Nerdhouse. That's N3RD_house. Says escort quest. Agreed, and they usually walk slower than you. Buying an item in a shop, then finding it in a chest immediately after. Oh, yeah, that's rough. Lots of RPGs do that. That hurts.
Just hit me in my soul.
Ooh. Getting into a scripted battle unknowingly and blowing through all your items when the battle is unwinnable. Oof. Oof, man, that's nasty. All right, I'm hurting right now. Do you want to get Roxer's boxes? Roxas your boxes. That's an interesting one. I thought it was like I thought it was a dinosaur at first, like a Roxasaurus boxus or something.
I'm starting to find collectibles in open world games to be annoying, especially when they have zero meaning. Ever play Prototype? There were literally glowing balls. Why?
So the Leadist podcast says, I was thinking the same thing lately. Then I started playing Spider-Man on PC and started finding the backpacks with little pieces of Spider-Man lore in them. They're really well done in that game, in my honest opinion. I want to find them all.
Sometimes it's done well. Infamous 2 and 3 did it semi-well as well. Okay, there's a lot of wells in there.
Yeah.
The first Infamous had no indicators to find collectibles, and it made it very, very hard to get them all. In the Spider-Man game, like where you're collecting like those backpacks, like you get stuff from finding those. So like, if there's like collectibles that like you get stuff that helps you in the game, or like something that's cool cosmetically or something, like I can understand that. But when it like all it does is unlock an achievement, get out of here.
So, by the way, Shane Mitchell, Roxas Your Boxes, he is a Twitch affiliate, wrote articles for Dorkly and Game Saved My Life, and also a cringe TikToker, so that's always fun. That's what it says. And then the Leadist podcast plays games about video games, trivia, game show games, sound-based games, and more. Ooh, nifty. So, let's see, who we got next? Japan Lover 79 says, Oblivion and Skyrim's multiple game-breaking bugs. Heck, the launch edition of Skyrim on PS3 was borderline unplayable for those guys. They're good games, but Bethesda needs a better Q&A team. And then I just kind of went on a conversation about Fallout 4 and all the things that I screwed up trying to get it installed on a PC with cross-fired cards. It was a time. It was a time. It was not a good time. It was the best of. It wasn't the best times. It might have been the worst of times.
It was not the best of times. It was almost the worst of times.
Yeah, and okay, so tell me, it's a little bit further down our list, at D&D RPG. This, what is this? I'm confused. We're looking. It says this and anything that resembles it.
I have no idea.
It looks like a dragon. I'm not familiar with this. Is this Skyrim?
It looks like it may be like Oblivion or Morrowind.
Yeah, like early ages.
Early Elder Scrolls.
I think that's a dragon. Or it's somebody standing on one leg in a suit. I don't know. I don't know what it is. If you can tell me what it is, please let me know. All right. All right. Do you want to go ahead and scroll down and get what Valid Thunder says?
Whoa! My cat just got the microphone again.
Oh man, Cat is now on the show.
Let's see here. Oh my God! Hang on. Oh, can you make? Okay, no. I'm there we go. When you're promised the fourth installment of a game over the course of 12 years, you get teaser trailers, breaking news about the development of games. They assure you it's in the works and it will be coming out in your lifetime. And eventually you get so frustrated that you just give up, and even the mention of the game is enough to make your blood pressure skyrocket. It's Fable 4. I'm talking about Fable 4. Or all that, but they tell you there will be a new game, but it's mobile only because we have phones. It's Diablo 4. I'm talking about Diablo 4.
That's awesome. That's Skylar, who joins in the Conan podcast.
So funny thing about Fable 4, it just totally jogged my memory. Apparently, Fable 4 was not going how they planned. There's it's also the fact that it's being developed by the people who did Horizon.
Yeah, that's what I find interesting too. The Forza games, like I can see it for the background design, right? If they're trying to do like a British countryside and they want it to look really nice, but I don't remember racing in that game.
You don't remember it?
No.
Yeah, when you had to get into like your
Maserati?
I don't know, ethereal charged Lamborghini.
Yeah, I remember that. All right. So Gunslingerer responded, now you know how the Half-Life fans have felt for years regarding the Fable 4 and Diablo. What is... okay. All right, you want to get that next one by Valid Thunder? Had a lot of good ones.
microtransactions and how they update the game and completely change it into a new game. Instead of just releasing, you know, a new freaking game and seasons in every game except Diablo.
Okay, Diablo seasons are actually pretty good. I've been playing the new Diablo season. I didn't talk about it because you guys are probably tired of me talking about Diablo seasons.
Nerd.
Yeah. All right, next one. Slaw says, there is always a bad guy or level I hate in just about every game. Like in State of Decay 2, I hate the exploding zombie.
Exploding zombies really are the worst.
All right, so I have a kind of bonus points. Thanks for being cool. So we have Moretta Podcast, More Than a Podcast, was saying that whenever I posted this, he sent me a DM because, you know, you got to say more than what you can on Twitter because there's only so many characters you can use, right? He says it's really funny. By the way, good friend of the show. Go check out his stuff. More Than a Podcast, Moore. Says it's really funny because right at this moment I am experiencing one of the most annoying things in gaming. The example that I have is with Tales of Arise. Ooh, and first off, I want to say it's a great game, but where they fail is in their mapping system. They give you objectives and tell you where you need to go, but the map is so hard to access. Have you played Tales of Arise, Rowdy?
I'm not.
Dude, he is not lying. The map is stupid. You can never truly tell if you're going in the right direction. At one point, I walked all the way back to an area that had nothing to do with the current plot and wasted so much time. Games have to be very clear on where and how they let the player know where they need to go and if they're heading into the right direction. I was responding to this, too, because I want to love Tales of Arise, and I think I'm at the end of the game, but I'm like, just doing the same thing over and over, and that backtracking sucks. And you feel like you're in a corridor the entire game. And then he added, the fact that I have to go through a pause section in order to get to the map is frustrating, Xenoblade. I wish they had an ability to make the map accessible while you're actively running around and show your blip moving as you're navigating your character, which you have on Xenoblade, but you don't on this stupid game. There was a moment in the game where I continuously had to pause and go to the menu just to look at the map, make sure I was going in the right direction. So, yeah, that game, Tales of Arise, everybody loves it, but I'm having a hard time beating it. And then also just a thanks to Tech It to the Max, Hammerfist Revolution on Twitter and his YouTube page where he does unboxing, various game playthroughs, and discusses other gaming topics. He keeps wanting to add to the bonus points segments. He loves them, but I just wanted to say thanks for being like, hey, where's bonus points often. So, hey, Rowdy.
Nice. What's
hey,
up?
Rowdy. I think that's
What's
the
up?
show. How did we do a 2-hour show?
It happens every time.
It happens every time.
Yeah,
it's worse whenever I don't prep.
We try to narrow it down. We prep. We don't prep. Doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter. Yeah. I'm wondering if we just need to split this podcast in half. Right in the middle. Because bonus points is like half. I don't know. We'll just put the full 2 hours up and people can listen if they want.
I mean, yeah, we could split up bonus points if you want.
I don't know anymore. We're just on the river, man. At this point,
You
I'm
know
like
what?
floating. I'm like in a tube. I'm not in the White River rafting. I'm like at the end of the podcast. Everything's chill.
By the time that you've made it to this point in the podcast, it may have been 1 or 2 podcasts.
It could
How
have
will
been.
you know? You won't until you get to the end here.
Yeah. Who knows? At some point, I'm gonna try to figure out a way to shorten some things. Because all you people with your lack of attention spans on TikToks, if you've gotten to this point of the podcast, you're probably not one of those people. But
I don't know. I just get too sidetracked, man. I started talking about quicksand today, so
we did talk about quicksand. Everybody knows now that if you're in Southeast Texas, avoid the quicksand. Next to
swamp
the
survival
swamps.
tips.
Yep, bog people, man. You ever heard about bog people? There's entire places with bogs with like people that are extremely preserved that they went and died in the bogs. Not out here. But
Like the bog of eternal stench from Labyrinth.
yeah, man, it's a real thing. All right, I don't have anything else. We'll probably have a new podcast in another month. I don't know how we're doing it lately. But that seems to be the thing lately. I know both Rowdy and I are freaking swamped in the real world.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm thinking here I'm going to have more time in the future, but man, I have struggled. I'm on the struggle bus.
Yep. But I guess on that note, see you
guys
next week, next month.
Sometime. Look on the Twitter for us. We need to do a freaking email list that I want to do. One of you guys show me how to do this. Let's get this going. Maybe write it for me. I don't know. Thank you guys for listening to the podcast. I hope you have a glorious month or week or however long it is till we see you. And we hope to see you next time on the Lamer Gamers Podcast.